Hello, the Grand Observer
Today
here.
we're doing a Let's Play. This is a movie talk.
Hello, Grand Observer here. Good evening.
Grand Observer here.
Oh, like it now, with a new video topic.
Hello, the Grand Observer here. Sorry. Today's a movie talk. Or movie review. 1 second. I've recently purchased 3 new movies, but just recently watched one of them. No, wrong case. Hate that the cardboard things come up. Yeah, this is just part of the case, but Descendants 3. I just now finished watching it, otherwise this idea would, well, now from when I'm recording, but otherwise the idea wouldn't be fresh in my head, but yeah. It was pretty decent. The effects are a lot better. They actually relied less on CGI areas and such, unlike in the last 2 movies, which was a wise idea. Good job. But let me tell you the story. I hope all of you have seen the first 2 ones. Because, yeah. So, warning, spoilers. Alright, we start off with the new musical number every time, except unlike the second movie, it isn't a dream, it's actually reality. And, yeah, got an itch. And they are bringing kids over from Oregon. And 4 new children. We got Smee's children. Both of them get to go. I don't remember what their names was, like Stinky and Squirm or something. And Dr. Felicia's daughter. I don't remember what her name is. And then the Dizzy, the one from the last movie. She didn't have a big part to play in this movie. She had kind of better in the second, but once she got put under the sleeping curse. Sorry, I went ahead. But after they were past the barrier with the new kids, it's coming to Oregon, Hades tried to break out. Almost succeeded, too. Of course, he didn't. They made it to Oregon nice and safe. And lo and behold, Prince Ben seals the deal with Mal and has a jolly good time with her. I know, I actually meant for that to sound a little bad. No, they didn't have sex. No, they were like in a festival because of it's VK Day, like the day when the new kids finally got chosen, and Ben proposed to Mal. Okay, this is a little bit of... No, I'm not gonna get into it. Okay. First, most everyone is happy and congratulated, except for Miss Audrey. Oh, Sleeping Beauty's daughter. The thing about her is she didn't have much of a presence in the second movie. So why she would be holding a grudge or anything against Mal is my question. Take a note of this, because this will become important later in the video. Later in the story. So, la-di-da-di-da, they're going to get married. And, dear me, so much happened. And apparently Evie, Eva Queen's daughter, already knew, and her and Belle were already planning the wedding. A mother-in-law now, Belle. Yeah, so they went back to her little castle cottage thing. They had a fun talking, blah blah blah. The usual teenager girl things, boy stuff, whatever. No, not boy stuff, because what were the boys doing again? think they were just... Ah, yes, that's right. They were preparing for Jane's birthday, because Jane, fairy godmother's daughter, her birthday was the same day that they got proposed to, or second day. After, I don't know. Time is really wonky in this movie. It's like one day, it all happened in one day, almost. So yeah, kind of weird. As I said, time is wonky in this movie. I swear, just all this happened in basically 2 days, 2 days. But the cake was stolen. With a bite of the cake that Carlos was preparing. Carlos, son of Cruella de Vil, the dog murderer. Since they are a couple, obviously. Evie and Doug are a couple. Doug is Dopey's son, which he can at least talk. I wonder. This is something I've always wondered. In this universe version of the characters, Disney's characters altogether, does Dopey actually talk? Because the son does, at least. Because we all know in the original movies, know why? Can't he talk? He don't know. He never even tried. There's a line similar to that. Back to the main story of Descendants 3. Ugh, so much details in my head. It's hard to keep track of what I've said and what I haven't. While they were all doing their giggly stuff, not as important, Mal and then Ben later had to go to a meeting with Fairy Godmother, the Beast, previous king, not current, because he's basically the Watcher now, just watching and helping advise. Part of a council, I guess? I want to say council, even though it's not. But those 5 were there together, and talking about the safety of order. And it was Mal's idea. Mal spoke up and said, I think we should close barrier for Isle of the Lost forever. That tore me against everything that they stood for from the last few movies. From the last 2 movies. Of course it didn't end there. Ben was even against it a little bit. Well, Ben was the only one against it. I don't think Fairy Godmother expected Mal herself to propose something like that. And frankly, I don't think she wanted her to. So, after that wishy-washy happened, and it went straight to Audrey. Audrey? Okay, here's something I gotta say real quick. You cannot make good judgment without both logic and passion. Because if you place a judgment or emotion without emotion, you might as well just leave it up to a machine. So, when you get into politics, you have to have some emotion, have to have a balance of it and logic. I won't get into that. That's a story for another time. But yeah, Audrey was being corrupted by her own jealousy and jealousy, basically, and because she wanted power and to be the one Ben still loved. So she had her own song number, of course. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I liked it. Most of the songs in the Descendants 3 I liked. I'm going to download them. I really like them. Some of them. So yeah, she ended up in her song stole Maleficent's scepter and the King and Queen's crown, or Queen's crown. I don't get it why they have more crowns just locked up in a museum if they're just going to use it. I think it's an old version or something. I don't know. But yeah. And so she goes on a ballistic rampage and starts putting people to sleep. First of all, she goes sees Mal at the college with Evie and them, and she turns Mal into a little old lady. aka the curse of the scepter. Even though I think that was supposed to be an Easter egg reference to Evie's mother changing into an old woman. I don't get it. What the point of that was, other than for a little bit of laughs. Yeah. So yeah, they had to go to the Isle of the Lost to get Hades' Ember to stop the curse that Audrey was putting on everyone, aka the sleeping curse. I'm just going to say this out loud so I don't have to somehow get jumbled up in the mixed in when it shouldn't be or whatever. Hades is Maleficent, Mal's father. I don't know if they said that in any of the trailers or anything, and I never seen the movie in the theaters, so I don't know. Otherwise, I would have had this much sooner. So they go to the Isle of the Lost to get Hades' Ember, the strongest magical item over Maleficent's staff, because it has the power to drain magic, or to alter it, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, excuse me. Once again, it's very late when I record stuff like this. So Mal and most of the whole crew, except for Ben, of course, went off, and the newest kids. Actually, no. Felicia's Dr. Felicia daughter went along with them. Dizzy and the twins did not, aka Smee's kids. They stayed at Ord on. But they went there to get Hades' Ember. We actually got to see Dr. Felicia. He was actually pretty cool. I liked him, man. I like the actor. I don't know the actor because I didn't research him real quick. But I like him. I like him, how he acted. He made a pretty good Dr. Felicia. And they made a little joke. What can I say? I got friends on the other side. Or something like that. It was basically that, but I butchered when it came in or what. But they need the key because Hades keeps hidden into a cave somewhere safe, whatever. And while they were there, the Uma's gang, even though Uma's not in the Isles of Lost, if you remember last movie, she escaped. She watch the second movie in your land. But yeah, her gang ended up being a hindrance at first to the Captain Hook and the pirates. Gaston's son was part of that crew, but they stole some bikes at the aka motorcycles at the Ordonians. I'm just going to call the separate groups Ordonians. You know who they are by now. Mal, Evie, etc. And then the pirates, aka Uma, Hook, and Gaston. They stole the bikes that they used to get there, and I'm going to say this ahead of time. They crashed them, even though the others were trying to chase them. But yeah, Mal and Miss Felicia, I'm just going to call her that so you remember. The little girl that's the fortune teller, aka Dr. Felicia's daughter. God, I keep repeating the same things I keep saying! But yeah, they go to Hades' hidey hole. Hades is apparently asleep, and since he doesn't have Cerberus anymore, the big three-headed dog, he has a recording of his barking and has it hooked up throughout his cave system to scare people away so he can be alone should anyone go in. But he wakes up right as they were getting the ember in their hands, and then they do a father-daughter duet number saying, "I made you stronger by staying away. You should have been with me," etc., etc. It was a good song. I just can't do Mal. I could actually probably imitate Hades, the guy that was Hades. I'm not gonna try though right now. I might actually make a video where I do impressions of people that I think I can do. That aside, after that, Hades gives Mal the Ember willingly, surprisingly, without a fuss at that. So they get out, they go to the gate, they of course exit, but young Hook, aka Harry, and Harry Hook, and Gaston's son, I can't remember what his name is. They managed to sneak out and were messing about against the Ordon crew, and Mal almost drops the ember into water. Even if it's a crystallized form of it, it still gets wet. It's like a battery. Out like a light. But Uma catches it and says, "Ooh, look," and drops something. Basically toys with it and toys it in their face and then comes up. So, they make a proposition. You open up the gates, open up the aisles permanently, and I'll help you. So, they made the rickety friendship stable, trustworthy, etc. to try and stop Audrey from causing trouble. Meanwhile, back at the kingdom, Audrey, so not everyone was affected by a sleeping curse yet. Audrey was correlating with Ben, or trying to, not correlate, wrong word. Was trying to make a deal of her own with Ben, saying, "Make me your queen, make me the queen of Aragon, and I will reverse this spell." He refused, of course, and say, "Are you under a spell?" and such. I want to say her mindset was that if she turned out to be like Mal and stuff, she would be win his heart, but I don't think that could actually happen. It's a different situation, which of course story-wise you can't think it through that way. So yeah, but once she got rejected again, she said, "Oh, this is actually what she said. You know what? Sleeping is too good for you. Sleeping is too good for all Hordon." So she turns Ben into the beast, into a beast form, which was quite fascinating. Pretty good makeup. They should have added a little more snout, though, in my opinion. Then probably let amateurs make up him. Or they were cheap on budget, I don't know. Or low on budget, I don't know. Which was actually probably a good thing, because as I said, they limited special effects, like CGI places and such. They reused some areas, of course. They had, why wouldn't they? But I think that was a wise idea. Less CGI, more realistic. Even Mao's dragon form was better in this version than in this movie than the second. So she turns him into a beast and turns some people into statues that weren't affected by a sleeping girl, including our fairy godmother. While she was trying to get her wand to reverse everything, or try to stop things. So, the Isles of the Lost. So, our heroes and villains team up again, to try and find Audrey to put a curse out, to stop her curse. First, they check at Ordon High, where she would be, since she apparently was in summer school. Naughty, naughty, not doing your extracurricular work and getting those A's. Not all important. I'll do a video for that another day too. But yeah, they found nothing, absolutely nothing. So they checked and blah blah blah. So until they got stuck by 10 soldiers, aka iron soldiers, whatever, husks of shells being eaten, puppetry by magic by Audrey to try and stop them. And then we got a nice little number. Actually, this song was my favorite of them all. Of course, I can't play it or show it. I don't know. But a nice little, a very good number in my opinion, in song on this one. But yeah. So they dance, they sing, they fight puppeted knight armor, and yeah, they won, of course, using magic after that, making the knights copy their dances, and then basically the suits of armor just fell over. Of course, there were people inside of them, so they just piled on and made a pyramid. What happened? Of course, Audrey was, of course, not happy about that. Oh, did I mention Chad was with her Prince Charming's son? Yeah. That didn't go too well. He was basically a flunky, but that didn't even do anything. So, once she got so upset, she threw him into a broom closet and basically it kept him in there while she was gone elsewhere. She also, no, back to our heroes. Our heroes found out that she was at the the Three Fairies hut every Fairy Godmother's Day. Apparently she went there. Jane was still awake somehow because of that. She was having a party at the Enchanted Lake, which was pretty smart. Hint, hint. She had some enchanted water and turned Ben back into a human because after the night scene they split up to try and find where they all were, where Audrey was and where Ben was, since they were both not together, of course. So Jane out of nowhere comes and turns Ben back into mostly human, aside from having facial hair and fang teeth. So yeah, they all then get together. They find Chad locked in the broom closet, release him. They were starting to get along and stuff, and then Mal had to say something, which was probably a good thing, because holding secrets and lying is never a good thing. She lied about the deal to let all the kids, to open the barrier to let everyone through to Oradon. She lied, and that turned everyone against her. Except Ben, of course, because Ben knew about it all along, aside from knew that she made a promise with Oradon. Or to really open the barrier, which of course she broke. At least in words, she broke. But when things got tough, well, literally, her friends got turned. The friends that weren't Uma and Harry, because they went skedaddled. Like, people were still split up. Some people got all together, some others split up. Watch the movie, you figure out who that I haven't named, but most of the crew of Oradon, aka Evie, Carlos, Jane, and Ben got turned to stone by Audrey. And then we get a nice sad, well, I think it's supposed to be sad, not motivational, insightful song. Because of the lyrics, you have to listen to that too to understand what I mean by insightful, but she has her own solo number like she did back in, did she have one in the second movie? I can't remember if she had one in a solo number. She had a solo number in the first one. If only. Am I crazy? Maybe we could happen. I could probably turn that on to operatic. She has a really high-pitched voice. Like, she can sing and such, but she has one of the most unique voices. Dove Cameron, I believe her name is, aka in the movie Maleficent's daughter, Mal. Does she have a full name? I don't remember. I don't think she does. That's kind of stupid. Call her Mally. Maddie O'Reilly! Alright, back to the story. So, after she figures out what she needs to do, she tries to get Uma and Hook to help. So, saying, come on, for Oridon! Okay, this honestly irked me. She may have started to learn and figure things out by that point, but it's like, do this for Oridon, not for everyone. Because everyone on the Isles wouldn't know anything that happened on Oridon. Hell, it would all be the same, no doubt. So, but Uma and Harry said, no, we're not going to help you still. You broke your word, your promise of opening the gate. We're not going to help you finish this. You made this mess, fix it yourself. So, she went to the castle, where Miss Felicia, I hope you remembered who that is, was up in a tower with Audrey. Tower point, not exactly a tower because it's not a roof. Being used as bait to draw Mal, so Audrey can have her way with her. Of course, to no avail, but also Mal didn't have the Ember because it got dunked in water before everyone got turned to stone. Not before everyone got turned to stone, before her song number, aka before her friends got to turn to stone before the song number. If that makes any sense. The timeline is very odd. It's very pain in the butt to say the story. And I'm trying as hard to say this in order as much as possible. So she fights a little bit, then she gets wounded, she goes down. It's like Uma and then Harry come up and down, seeing the balance, like, she can't handle this on her own, she needs help. So when she comes down from being a little bit wounded by a little lightning blast, like lightning can get through dragon scale, but magic can get through dragon scale better than a sword can, unless a sword is magic. Cue Maleficent dying with a sword on the gut. But yeah, so Uma has good in her heart. She helps power up the Ember, and the Ember saves the day. But in the process, as Audrey gets hurt and her life force is fading away. Now the only way to save her is Hades, because it's Hades' Ember. So the stone, aka fire, only works for him. Can only fully work for him. So they brought him over, and he staved off death itself. Unless he's death. No, he's not death. It's a long story on how that works, especially in this world. But yeah, so they had a heart-warming reunion, blah blah blah, and Audrey gets apologized, whatever. But here's something that Hades says. When one of your guys tries to destroy the world, it's just a lapse in judgment. When our guys do it, you lock him up and throw away the key. It is a real true thing. We're now closer to almost to the end of it. Probably like 10-15 minutes. Make that 20? If you think about it, because of the song number. No, 15 minutes. 10-15 minutes. But yeah. They're over at the archway, bridgeway magic. Bah! They're over to the archway that houses the magic to open up the bridge, to open up the barrier to the Isle of the Lost for like a honeymoon or something, or whatever the thing is before you get married. But and Maug gives a saying that she is going to open the barrier for once and for all, holding to her word, and Ben full-heartedly agreed. Because, as I said in the first movie, Ben wanted to be the king that moves forward, that does not let the mistakes of the past haunt the future. Which, actually, they did a pretty good thing about that. So, bippity boppity. Mal uses as the wand to break down the barrier. Everyone is happy, and everyone from the lost comes over. And then we have a big dance, like in the last two movies, a big dance. Hence, of them dancing and stuff, music, song, and pretty much the end of the movie. Here's my 2 cents on it, though. 1, the songs are good. 2, the story was a little bit wonky at the end on the lesson learning. 3, okay, I'm saying good and bad mixed together. But 3, I love that they didn't overdo it with special effects. That was... mwah. They stuck to real graphics and stuff. Didn't try to overdo it, and they didn't underdo it. I think they were superb. But again, even like Audrey's grandmother, because you don't see her mother, was so peeved that more villain kids are coming over. And Audrey wasn't too concerned about that. She was concerned about who the power was going to a villain kid. VK, for short, of course. But that wasn't fully everything. Because they kind of changed up how that worked. Because, like, 1, she didn't like the idea of villain kid. 1, she wanted all the power. It's like, if she didn't want a villain kid to be the queen, or whatever, I don't know. I think it stems down to back to old traditions and families. That because this movie was teaching like 2 or 3 great lessons. Like 1, the biggest one of them all that stands out right in front of your face is this thing about our races, who we are, our beliefs, etc., etc. Put them behind you. It's good to have beliefs and stuff. Don't enforce them on others, but don't make a closed circle. For you, here's one circle. Your group of people, like the same ideal, same religion, etc. Here's the other. Put them together at first. Get away! But what the movie is saying, it's better with them all united as one. Even if they don't share the same religion or whatever, celebrate the differences. Which is something in this world. Basically racism too. So, people need to stop worrying so much about that. It's like in America, politics right now. People are still bashing Trump, like everyone, like people are still trying to impeach him for nothing. It's ridiculous, so I don't know. As I said, you cannot have judgment without emotion, otherwise you might as well just leave it to a machine. Another lesson was, what was it? The mistakes. Do not let the mistakes of the past be your future. Even everyone else, they know what mistakes happened in the past. Do they lord it over your head? Or should they just go forward with it? That's what the lesson is. Another lesson. Just move forward. Don't let the mistakes of the past haunt you. I believe there was one more lesson, but I'm too tired to think fully about it. But that's my 2 cents in the movie. It was a good movie. Good story. A little wonky, as I said at the end. Good, whatchamacallit. Good graphics design, whatever. Okay, but one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick about this movie. About the series. There's this one girl. I don't know if I can't remember if she was in the second one, but I definitely know she was in the first. This one extra that popped up a few times. A girl in a wheelchair. Don't think I can do my research because I don't think there's a whole list of the hundred. Yeah, they actually had a very small extras list, but probably at least maybe a couple hundred, maybe 200 at least extras. No, they had way more if I think about it. Yeah, but they didn't use all of them all the time is a thing. But there's this one extra, this girl in a wheelchair. She's been in the movie series at least 2 times. I don't know if she was in the second one because I don't remember. I have to pick on this because she's the only recognizable one, an extra, and it's because of her wheelchair. In my opinion, because there's no large. Most people with disabilities don't get interacting, or be able to do something like that. Which is why there's only a few ways something like that could happen, aside from being an extra. Or, of course, the role requiring. Then again, you can act like you have disabilities. I can act like I have a pretty good limp and use a cane. But I'm guessing, because she's been in the 3 movies, it's a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing, or Disney's thing. Or she has connections. Her family has connections. That's my guess. Sorry, I have to spit that one out, because that girl has come up at least twice in the movies. In the series. She showed up in a few scenes in each movie, not only like twice. But yeah, just picks at your head when you see something so familiar, and it's like, these movies are years apart, and yet they have some of the same girl throughout all of them. Another thing that irks me, like Descendants 3 is like Halloween Town, a Disney special movie. So I don't know if it was in theaters at all. I really don't. So out of nowhere, when I finally go to Walmart, I see it out. So I snatch it because I loved the first series, the first 2. So I grabbed the third to continue the story. Again, it irks the crap out of me of how it all works, where it comes from. Like, on YouTube, this movie made a big presence for months. I've seen content about it, like theories about how Hades goes with Mal, how it's going to go down, etc. Even the trailer apparently was different. The trailer was different from the movie. How the movie was going, it actually was different. Like the book and movie are different. I don't know. I guess the book is basically adventures in between. But yeah. Oh, I still think it's a big, kind of a mess on how that all worked out. But it's just weird. Like out of the blue, all information just stopped on the movie. You know. Like, it has its time of hype, and it dies down, and then it's like, you don't hear anything about it. Like, I didn't know when the release date was on this movie, and it irked the crap out of me, because I wanted to watch it so bad. I don't know. But, my 2 cents. You heard my theories, my thoughts, so. comment down below on what you thought of this movie if you've seen it, and like and subscribe if you're new to see movie reviews, music covers, let's plays. Who knows? I do things sporadically after all. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. See you next video.